Hi, and welcome to Schweitzer Students on Air. It's our first episode. I'm Robert Freeman, the Director of Students here at Schweitzer Church, and joining me are Jackson Burleson and Stella Green, two of our interns here, two of our student leaders. We're really excited to get this thing off the ground. This was an idea that when I walked in the building, Jackson was like, "You used to work in radio. We should do a podcast." And I said, "Sure." And as it's taken us about 20 minutes to even get this thing started, I'm starting to question my choices, but it's pretty exciting. This is something that students have wanted for a while, the opportunity to share our story of what you guys are doing, what we're doing as a ministry, and get people here at Schweitzer and around the community more engaged and more involved in what we're trying to do. So thank you guys for being a part of this.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now, it's very good. Jinx. Someone owes someone a soda. I think you both owe me one.
Okay.
No.
So you guys, let's start with the basics. Stella, we'll start with you.
Okay.
How long have you been at Schweitzer Church, and how long have you been a part of student ministry here?
Okay. Those are the same answer. I've been at Schweitzer since 7th grade, and that's when our entrance into student ministry was 7th grade when I entered. So I've just been here for the entire time. How long? How many years is that?
Four?
4?
3 or 4? Yeah.
3 or 4?
And
No.
you weren't the only one to go through. Your sisters went through with you. Now you've got a younger sister coming through as well, and you're going into your junior year?
Yep.
All right. How are we feeling about that?
Little nervous, kind of excited. It's a mix, but I feel like it's going to be a good year.
So when I was in school, your junior year was your high pressure year. This was the year you had to get everything done, SATs, ACTs, all that.
Yeah.
And then get applied to all your schools. Is that the plan?
That's the same. Yep.
All right, you're feeling that. Okay. All right. Well, no pressure. It's just the rest of your life.
Yeah. No, easy. No problem.
Jackson, you've been around on the tech side a lot of what's going on here at Schweitzer for the last couple of years, but how long have you actually been a part of student ministry here?
So I came my 7th grade year in 2021, so it's been about 4 years now.
Okay.
I got started with tech pretty early on. I volunteered with student ministry a couple of weeks into going. It was just something, I saw the announcement and I was like, I want to do that. And it's been really cool to see that evolve to where now I'm working on staff doing that. And so it's great to see God working through that and God working through me. So, yeah.
All right, let's talk about some highlights for both of you because you've been a part of this ministry for a while and you've seen a lot, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
Jackson, let's start with you. If you had to find this is my high point for Schweitzer students, what is that moment for you?
Ooh. I mean, my brain goes automatically to summer camps.
Yeah.
But I don't, I couldn't even, I'd probably lean more towards CIY, but picking which year for CIY, because there were so many great things from each of them.
Sure.
I'm going to say CIY this year.
2025?
Yes.
Okay.
We had a lot of students, a lot of growth. We had about 10 students accept the call to vocational ministry or
Amazing.
recognize that on their hearts. We had 90% of our students reaffirm their faith, recognize that they have been and then we had over 90% of our students rededicate their lives to Christ, just kind of recognizing that they've fallen short or they haven't been fully living a life for Christ, and that was awesome to see.
Now, Jackson set the bar high.
True.
Tell me, Stella, your highest high in Schweitzer students.
Ooh, yeah, I agree with Jackson. That's a hard one. I would also probably have to say camps are such a high just because of the amount of time spent. It's a full week, and you're just constantly being poured into or pouring into others. And so I guess an example of that latter one would be Barnabas that we go to, and I would consider that one of my highest highs.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Barnabas is a camp for those with disabilities that we get to go serve at and just be somebody's buddy for a week or clean and provide a camp experience for those who maybe aren't able to attend a regular summer camp like we are. And it's just really awesome to go there and to see everybody's perspective change and their patience grow and their faith grow while they're pouring into another person or into another group. And it's just been such an eye-opening experience for almost everyone that has attended, I could say.
I think one of the things that I found so impressive, because I wasn't there the whole week, I had just gotten in the building and they're like, the kids are going to Barnabas. Sweet, let me pray for them and I'll see you guys in a week. But I got to go with Pastor Spencer, and we hung out. Scott and I talked for a little bit. We got to see what you guys were all doing while you were there. And one of the things that stood out to me is how far stretched you guys were. Mentally, emotionally, physically. I remember Nora was pushing her camper up one of the hills. And if you've never been to Barnabas, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this is a camp that's set up for campers in wheelchairs. Surely it is completely flat with no curves, no turns. It's all 45-degree roads or 90-degree roads, and it'll be great. And then I see Nora like huffing and puffing up this hill, pushing this chair, and you could just see it on her face. And that was Wednesday of that week. You could just see like she's exhausted. But what I know from personal experience and what you guys learned in that, I'm sure, is that at the end of that exhaustion, when you're so tired, you're so tapped, you find Christ. Right. And the Holy Spirit fills you up in a way that you've not been filled up before, and you are amplified and capable of so much more than you were capable of before. I think that's wonderful. And I love that you pointed out how they kind of split up students. So middle schoolers, for those that have not been, we call them barnstormers. And they do things like change sheets or sweep or wash dishes, clean up the mess hall, whatever it is. They have roles. And then once you get into high school, they start partnering you up with campers as buddies. And we saw Ainsley, who the week I was there, she was paired up with, I forget what they call sibs, the siblings of some of the campers. And I just think the way that they purpose you guys and enable you to just fully immerse and be engaged and grow is amazing. So I love that you guys do that.
Yes.
I love that you have that heart for service. And you took, again, that was around 30 students that week, which is huge.
A big amount,
A massive amount. And I know some people have asked, are we going to keep doing that? Because there's this new guy in the building and he has crazy ideas. We're absolutely committed to Barnabas. I think there's nowhere else that you can get that kind of experience. So I love that you brought that one up. I love that you brought up Move. We had a chance to talk about Mix, because for folks that aren't actively engaged, that's what summer looks like around here.
Yeah.
It's camp, it's camp, it's camp, and all of it with Christ at the center. So we've had amazing growth this summer, I would say. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah. When you guys are at these camps, what's something at either of the ones that you went to, or in your case, all three, what's something that you pay special attention to for your personal growth? Is there a thing that you're focused on while you're there?
I would say for myself, something I like to focus on a lot with camps, because I've gone to a lot of camps, is just working on building habits that I can sustain away from camp, because I feel like it's easy to go into camp and be spiritually fed and be like reading your Bible and being in prayer, and it's easy to just immediately fall out of that. So a big thing for me is creating a pace and habits that I can continue on my own in my house while I'm back to my regular life. And that way I can continue to be in my word and grow in my relationship with Christ.
That was one of the things that we talked about with middle schoolers, is there's a little bit of a scary environment when you come home. You've been immersed in Jesus, 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 and that's not always what we experience at home, at work, at school. So do you mind sharing what maybe one of those habits that you brought home with you was?
Yeah. For me, I really this past year I struggled with creating a time to be in my word, because I'd get busy or I'd have sports. And so this past summer, I really just focused on setting aside time in my day. That was always my time to read my Bible. Whether it was 10 or 15 minutes, I'd block out a space in my day where I could just sit down, have rest, and be in my word. And I have continued that, which I'm proud of. And I just go up to my room, and I might play some worship music. It might be quiet in my room. And I just get in my word, and I learn from the Lord.
Absolutely. That is so cool. So good for you. Jackson, when you're at camp, and you went to 2 this summer, right? You went to Move in Barnabas, right? Yeah. What's your personal focus in those times for Jackson?
I feel like it's camp specific because with CIY, it's definitely building those habits. Like last year, they had the Rhythms Journal, which was amazing. It was a 21-day challenge that you walked through with some friends, and every day you would read a chapter of John.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's 21 chapters in John, and there were so many challenges around it. So you had to read a chapter of John. There would be a different reading each week or each day. There'd be like a small one that's separate from that. It's like a little passage from Genesis or from Proverbs. You would read Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, that one, every single day, because that was the big theme for that summer.
Yeah.
You would also go on a 21-minute walk without your phone, or with your phone off. So you're
And
not
that's
listening.
hard.
Yeah, so you're not listening to music, you're not checking your notifications, and the thought is you're just deeply in prayer while you're walking. And then you had limited social media. I think it was about an hour a week. So you were almost not on it at all.
Even harder.
Right.
Right.
As a teenager.
Yeah. So, and you would journal. It had a big focus on journaling and talking to the people that you were with. And that was a really good way to build those habits. Like I still go on, I call them rhythms walks.
Yeah.
They're very important. And then at Barnabas, I feel like the biggest thing is you learn so much about how to care for other people. And I feel like there are people with disabilities around us all the time, but we never like focus on them. Yeah. Or if we do, it's not necessarily in a good and healthy way.
Sure.
And so one thing that I've learned from Barnabas is like whenever I'm at school and there's a special needs kid walking through the hallway while other people might be making fun of them, I'm just like, that's a child of God and like loving on them, you know?
I love that. I really do. There's no other. We have friends who have sons that are disabled, and the first thought I had at Barnabas was, what a cool place for them. But to hear that it added to your perception and your willingness to like look around and go, oh, these students are being singled out, they're being picked on, whatever, and change the way that you see that. I absolutely love that. That's worth every penny that goes into getting you guys to Barnabas. So that's amazing. That's I don't want to call it the work part because I know you guys have fun, but that is some of the more serious stuff that we've done this summer.
Yeah.
What are some other things that we've had on the board, including the one that Stella and I are all decorated up from? But we've tried to have just some fun here at the church. What were some highlights in that for you guys?
Definitely Tuesday Lunch Club.
Yes.
For those that don't know, from noon to 3 every Tuesday, we had our Tuesday Lunch Club. You would come, you'd bring your own food, we would eat together, and then we would go over to the Sanctuary and Fellowship Center area, and we would play Mafia, hide and seek, sardines. It was a lot of fun. We kind of pushed the space to its limits in some
facilities give me
in some ways.
I can hear the Slack alerts already.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Have a lot of great memories from Tuesday Lunch Club.
Yeah,
it was a really great way to bring people to student ministry too.
Yeah, yeah, we saw some new faces this summer for sure.
And it was definitely
mine included.
Yeah,
there you go.
It was definitely something students look forward to every week.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, I have not been home much this summer, but for what I have been home for, I would say Tuesday Lunch Club is definitely a highlight. I love being able to just run around the sanctuary and have fun and get to meet new people and grow closer to them through that. But I would also say Bible studies have been pretty fun as well. There's been some fun talks that we've been able to experience, debates maybe. And I really enjoy that space before we go to service together, and I feel like it provides a good transition for us to all also be in community during the main worship and main message as we go from the Van Bay over to Big Church.
What would you say was a highlight from, because for folks that don't know, we get together in the Van Bays or the student lounge every Sunday morning at 9:30. And right now, as we're filming this, we're working through the 10 Commandments. You guys wanted a modern application of the commandments, which I think we've done that.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten there. What would you say was a highlight, though, this summer when you've been there of those Bible studies?
I would say the middle school's end of year.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
And no, what was it? Was it end of year or was it of
It was kind of their end of
series?
understanding the Bible is what they were doing, like context and concepts and all that. And Pastor Justin said, let's get everybody together.
Yeah.
And we won.
Yeah, and my team won, and that's probably why it came to my mind. But a good competition over Bible knowledge is always fun.
Yeah.
Good to flex.
And it's neat to get the middle schoolers and high schoolers together on a Sunday, because we do it every Wednesday night in the fall, which is a nice transition. We are getting set for, Stella and I just spent some time with Sean, who's producing over there, filling up bags for Color Wars, which is our last summer event.
Tailgate.
Tailgate.
Tailgate is like the kickoff for fall.
True.
Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, because we do have a couple of other events in August that are after this podcast comes out. But Color Wars is our last big event. We're going to get wild tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
And then wear a white shirt. Oh, wait.
Nope, it'll be done.
Hopefully you already wore a white shirt.
Please.
Yeah.
But then we do get set for fall, and we have in student ministry, we have a couple of events coming up before we kind of kick off our fall curriculum. But we have our first ever night of prayer in the Student Center. That's August 25th at 6:30. Yep. And we're going to be praying. A lot of people have asked me, like, what even is this? Well, have faith. That's what I say. It's like when my wife and my kids come into the kitchen and ask me what I'm cooking for dinner.
Have faith.
And I'm like, it'll be done when it's done. Just wait around and I'll put a plate in front of you.
Right.
But in the case of night of prayer, we're going to get together and we're going to have some prompts that individually or in small groups or maybe as the entire room, we're going to sit and pray over your launch to the school year, that anxiety would fade. We're going to pray over nerves and that kind of thing, but also like content and curriculum, that you guys would understand it, that you would make friends, that you would be excited for the year. And then we're going to shift our focus into praying over the night of worship, which is August 27th. And so 2 nights later, and we're going to pray over our content and launch of the fall. And that, we would just have a room full on September the 3rd, that we would be engaged and active, that we would look for ways to serve, that we would look for ways to disciple, that we would look for ways to learn individually. So if you've been going, I don't know if I want to go to night of prayer, I promise you there's a reward that comes with that much focused time, lifting things up to the Lord. So please come. I think it will be a lot of fun for everybody. Yeah, please come. I think it'll be a lot of fun for everybody. And eye-opening, if you've never been to a prayer experience, they're just an amazing time to connect with the Lord and with others. So that's coming up on the 25th. And then as you guys alluded to, we'll be tailgating on the 27th at 5:30. We'll grill some hot dogs out here in the parking lot. Whose idea was this? Who came up with this?
That was me.
That was you.
The Dragon Warrior.
Honestly,
The Dragon Warrior.
I thought to myself when you said it, I was like, that's a cool idea, and I think we should run with it. But then my immediate thought was, what's everybody else going to think? And I remember when we told Doug, and Doug heard what was going on. He's like, can I get a hot dog? So I think maybe more than I thought when you suggested it, this idea kind of picked up, and people are excited to just hang out like you would for a football game, but to then turn around and go worship in the sanctuary, which is awesome. So good on you. What made you think of this?
I saw something on Instagram of these people. They were advertising it, and so then I was like, interesting. And so then I kind of backtracked and I started thinking about like logistically what would this look like. And so what it is now is at 5:30 we're gonna be over here in the student center. We're gonna grill up some hot dogs. We're gonna have games, 9 square all set up, and we're kind of just gonna be hanging out before we go over to the night of worship at 6:30.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna worship for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes, and then we'll head home.
And Stella and I were just talking about this today. On a Sunday morning during modern worship, students kind of take up those first couple of rows.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a couple of scouts that head over to the sanctuary early to like block our space.
Put some shoes down, a couple purses.
Some
book,
Bibles,
a Bible, a songbook, something
Yeah.
in the space so that we can still get our space in while Jackson is also crushing people in 9 square.
Of course.
Like, we can't shorten up 9 square time just to make sure we get front row.
No,
We
I'm
just have
actually
to-
really excited for 9 square time.
It's been a minute. It has
I've
a
been
minute.
waiting on it.
Yeah.
Stella and I, roughed up some people at Mix
Yeah.
in 9 square.
Some
true.
middle schoolers
So they
a little
deserve
bit
it.
more, yeah.
I will say, though, it's a great opportunity if you weren't planning to come to worship night because, I just don't know. Kind of like with Night of Prayer, Night of Worship is an awesome opportunity to just come out and praise the Lord together in a communal space and get us set for fall, get our minds right. So you got prayer, you got worship, and then fall launch. So this is an easy one. Come hang out with us. We're pretty fun most of the time,
Yeah.
I guess.
All the time.
All the time.
Yep. No seriousness.
And then no seriousness ever. And then head right over to the sanctuary and worship with us. Doug and the worship team are working on some awesome songs and plans for that night. So really looking forward to that. And then finally, we get to September 3rd, and we're going to kick things off. We're going to open the room up for the first time
Oh my goodness.
this semester. What are you guys most excited about for that night?
Worship.
Worship.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We have worked all summer. This is a big deal. We've talked to Doug. I know it was something that was missing last year, and it was the number one thing that anyone involved said. We need worship. Worship, I want to say this into the camera directly. Worship, as a regular event, is still a work in progress. We have some adults that are looking to help and facilitate that. We have some students that are interested. But if you are watching this and you have worship skills, to all our viewers,
Yes.
if you have worship skills and you would like to participate, you can get in touch with Doug or myself, and we will find a way to facilitate that for you because
Yes.
we need worship leaders that can play an instrument. We need worship leaders that can sing, and we need to build out our rotation so that we're able to offer that. Because let me ask you guys this. This is a question that I think a lot of people have in their mind. Why do students need worship on a Wednesday night? You get it on Sunday mornings. Tell me why, and tell them why worship on a Wednesday night is important to each of you.
I have to think about it.
I feel like there's. Sorry.
You go.
I feel like there's a little. It's just different. Like the worship on a Sunday is. It's more broad. It's meant to reach more people and a bigger age range. Or like if you go to traditional, it's meant to reach a more traditional mindset. And so with student worship, it's centered and focused on students and like what you might be going through or that sort of thing. And so it's just better to have student worship dedicated to students, if that makes sense.
No, I get that.
Yeah. I would say, for me, I agree totally with that. And also the point of if you're only worshiping on Sunday, that's a whole week in between every time you're worshiping and you're praising. And I feel like worship is a state of surrender to the Lord and just openly praising Him. And so if we're only doing that once a week, it can, I don't know, I feel like just the more you do it, the better. Like there's never going to be a limit to how much you can worship.
You can't have too much worship.
You can't have too much worship. And so by having that Wednesday nights, especially Wednesday being in the middle of the week, it provides, a good thing to continue, get us to Sunday. Sunday gets us to Wednesday.
It's a little
provides
midweek
that.
bump.
Yeah.
I like that. So we will have worship that first Wednesday night. It's very exciting. We also have a little bit of a shift. Hangout, hang time, game time, whatever you guys call that.
Yeah.
6 to 6:30. We'll have 9 square up,
Work
Gaga
to that.
ball, food, whatever's going on that night from 6 to 6:30. And then specifically on September the 3rd, because we know we have worship that night, worship will start at 6:30. We'll have a 5-minute countdown. You will know when it's happening. There will be a transition point, and then worship will start. And once worship starts, then we'll step out of that and into the group game, whatever we're doing. And then I'm going to get up there and, fingers crossed, say something good.
Coherent.
A coherent
Yes.
thought would be a step in the right direction.
Right.
So, and to give a preview, that first night, we're talking about what it means for Schweitzer students to be Christ-centered, which, two things, Christ-centered and...
Community focused.
Yes, I'm so proud of you guys. We'll be talking about those two things in the first 2 weeks. So, little preview, come out and check that out. And then we'll go into Christ in the early church in the following weeks. So, we've got a lot to be excited about.
Oh, yes.
What is something, let me ask you this before we get out of here. If you could add one thing to Wednesdays, because worship check. Got that taken care of, at least for the first week.
Right.
If you could add one thing or encourage one thing, what would that be? Ooh, stumped them.
I do want to circle back to what you were saying about the band. If you guys are interested in volunteering for tech, if that's something that might interest you, come talk to me or Robert, and we'll get you guys plugged in.
It's a good sales pitch.
It's a blast. I mean, that's how I got involved here.
Yeah.
It's really important. So if that's something you're interested in, let one of us know.
All right, I've got my answer.
Shoot. Good
Something I want to see on Wednesdays is new people.
Yes.
And you know how we get new people? By you bringing friends.
Bring friends. Bring your friends. Yeah. I think that's great. And I'm going to circle back to that in a second. What about you?
I would definitely agree. You got to bring new people, but small groups is amazing, and to see that connection. And so, what I hope to see this fall is people just open up in small groups and open up to each other, because when you open up, that builds connection and builds relationship with those people around you, and subsequently, you guys build each other up.
If you want to go deep, sometimes you have to be the first one to get in there.
Yeah.
And we saw that. Stella and I witnessed that firsthand at Mix. We were in our room for small groups, and we had one student who was willing to go deep, share something personal, tear up a little bit. And then I asked the room, I said, does anybody else want to share? And we had another student say, I guess I can go, who also was willing to dive in, shed some tears, and work through something hard. And before we were done, the whole room, everyone, adults, students, and everybody. So my encouragement, whether it's to you guys or anyone else that's there, is be willing to be that person that dives off the high board and says, I'll go deep.
Yeah.
And then bring some other people.
I agree.
Okay, last thing. Give them your sales pitch, because let's say, just by happenstance, somebody has sat through this whole thing, but they're not one of our regular Wednesday night students. Why should anyone listening come to Schweitzer Student Ministry Wednesday nights?
You want to go first, or you want me to
Because
go first?
I'm there. No.
I mean, yeah, but no, I'm kidding. The people are just amazing.
Yeah.
And that's you can get worship at any church. You can get a message at any church. But the people here are amazing. From the students to the staff to the adult leaders to the student leaders, everybody is just amazing.
Yeah.
And so that fellowship is unmatched.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a seller in itself, and then the worship is just another add-on to that. The lesson is another add-on to that. Being spiritually fed is another add-on to that.
Yeah. So, and big shout out, by the way, to all of our adult volunteers. We didn't even touch on them in this episode, but I'm sure we will. We may have some on, who knows. But they're awesome. They give of their time to come and hang out with you guys and pour into you. I'm sure both of you have been touched by an adult leader that just knew that it was important to walk alongside you. And it is, and we can always use more of those as well. So if you're interested in partnering with the next generation, let me know. Stella, what about you? Why should them come to Schweitzer Student Ministry Wednesdays?
Man, I'd have to hit on the same point that Jackson did, just about fellowship. And for me, I met my best friends here. Through Schweitzer was coming to youth group that first night. I vividly remember meeting some of my best friends playing competitive foosball.
Competitive foosball.
Very competitive foosball.
Always brings people to Christ.
Always, yeah. It's a no-brainer. But yeah, just having been poured into by so many people and meeting so many people. And in the Bible, it talks about how, the church is wherever 2 or 3 gather in the name of Christ. And so I would just stress the importance of having that community and having that fellowship of people that can build you up and pour into you and give you advice and be there for you when you struggle. Because I know that I've gone through some things where the people here, especially at Schweitzer Students, have just been able to be with me through that. And I've been able to relate to some other people on that, and we've been able to grow through that together. And so I'd say above anything else, having people in your life who guide you to Christ and lead you to Christ where you can grow together is just one of the biggest things that you can
And it's a
ever earn.
process. We've got adults discipling students. We've got students discipling other students. We've got adults discipling each other.
Yeah.
It's a process and it's a community. So I would agree. I think the people and what we're doing here is super important. If you've ever had a question about what we're doing, come see a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We start at 6:30, 6:30, somewhere in there. And, excuse me, we start at 6:30 and we want people to see. The doors are open. You don't have to be an adult leader to come see what we're doing. You don't have to be a student to see what we're doing. You're encouraged to be, but come see what we're doing.
Check it out.
The goal is to point people to Jesus, and I hope that each and every week we're doing that. And if we're not, somebody come see me about that. Like, hey, you're not getting it done over there. Call us out.
Yeah.
Call us out. So, all right, there it is. Our first official student podcast. How do we feel about that?
Great.
Good.
Great. Schweitzer Students on air once a month. That's the plan right now. We do this once a month. So next month we'll be recapping what we've seen so far in September and looking ahead to October and the rest of the fall, and maybe have some exciting opportunities for people to be involved.
Yeah.
We thank you for listening, and we'll see you on Wednesday.